Today with us, and we are grateful for this. We have sign language interpretation available and closed captioning. So if you would like to turn on the closed captioning at the bottom of your screen, then that is an option for you. And we are glad to have that option, and many thanks to our Office of Disability Services for that support today on closed captioning and ASL interpretation. My name is Brooke Barber. I am Director of New Student Orientation. I am going to, in a moment, share my screen with you all, but it is my joy today to introduce the host and moderator of this session, Dr. Craig Chatrand, our Assistant Vice President and Dean of Students.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this family and guest session for New Student Orientation. I'm so excited that you all could be here and join us. For this morning's presentations, we have a number of people from around the university who are going to talk for just a couple minutes about their respective areas around campus. And then at the end of our time, we're going to have a question and answer period. But if you have questions as people are presenting, please feel free to type those in the chat box. If you would like to ask your question anonymously, feel free just to put my name, Craig Chatrand, in the to field, and that will come directly to me. And then at the end of our session, we will ask our panelists to answer some of those questions. So to begin, I want to introduce our Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, Dr. Lynn Reddington.
Good morning, everyone. It is so very good to see you and to be with all of you this morning. This is always one of my favorite days of the academic year. It's right as we start the new school year, the new semester. It is when we have lots of excitement and some nerves, and it's just nice to know that we are getting back on track to do what we do, and that is to educate students. So I want to start with a quick little story. So I have two daughters, they're twins, and they're both, well, they're out of school now, so they're a little older, but I wanted to share this picture with you. And going back many years, I wore this on my first day of kindergarten. My mom made it for me, and why I still have it, we don't know. We are not going to get into that story. But anyway, when my daughters, their names are Amy and Emma, when they were about ready to go to kindergarten, I thought, oh my gosh. So I pulled it out from the attic where it had been. And I asked my daughters and I said, hey, mommy wore this to kindergarten. Would one of you like to wear this to kindergarten? And I don't remember which one, but I have a guess as to which one. But one of them looked at me and said, oh, mommy, did the other kids make fun of you? And I thought, when are you going to go to college? So anyway, kind of fast forward, off they go to college. And they just had a wonderful experience at their respective schools. But I share that because the transition of them going to school was also a transition for us. And I'm sure that there are some of us in this room that have had multiple children go to school. We've had some of us in this room, this might be our first child to go to school. But I want to let you know that here at Idaho State, exactly what Brooke said, our faculty are incredibly engaged and excited to teach and to work with your students. Our staff care deeply about your students, their success, and their experiences. And no matter who you talk to at Idaho State, we have a philosophy and a belief and a practice that students are first. So if we're doing something, we drop it if a student is there. Our students are our why. So I wanted you to know that. And I also want to go back to one of those questions or one of the comments that was in the chat about finances. And I'm sure you'll learn more about that as we go on. But I agree. I think debt for higher education is certainly a huge concern. Idaho State is one of the more reasonably priced institutions that I am aware of and certainly that I have worked at. And as one of my students is, along with your students, going to be a brand new Idaho State Bengal as of Monday, one of the messages that I'm talking to her is to live like a student now so she doesn't have to later. So thinking about, does she need a car? And if so, what kind of a car? Does she need to have the, new clothes, or can she kind of make do with some different things? So that is just one of those different areas that I would encourage. Some other things that I guess I just wanted to share with you is, as you go through this transition, I want you to accept your feelings with this. In a national survey of parents of young adults, 84% of parents missed their kids once they moved out. 60% were glad to have more time with their spouse or their partner or themselves, and 90% were happy that their kids were independent. I do encourage you to schedule time, to make time to see your student. Now, if your student is living at home, it may not be an issue. But otherwise, schedule some FaceTime, schedule those Zoom phone calls, kind of pull up a chair at the quote unquote digital dinner table and talk with your students. Make sure that you schedule some time for you. I would say go to a restaurant or get together with friends, but if you do that virtually. Be safe, but make sure that you also kind of embrace this new time for you. I know for me, when my kids went to school the first time, I ate cereal or popcorn for dinner probably the entire first month, and I have no regrets. Stay close to your student even when you're apart. Follow your student's lead. Sometimes they will want daily contact. Others are going to want a little more space as they figure out and navigate their own path into this world as college students. And then create some new family traditions for your student experiences. So when I started here a few years ago, both of my daughters were in college in another state. And so I sent them lots of Idaho care packages. And one of those daughters, as I mentioned earlier, has now moved out towards Idaho and will be joining us on Monday. So I'm going to kind of, my one piece of, I guess, experienced advice from me is support your students, challenge them, encourage them to help or try to solve concerns or issues on their own. So if they have a question about financial aid and they come to you, direct them to the financial aid office. Trust your students and always, always, always love them. I know as a parent, our goals are to raise our children to be good, wonderful, productive, contributing adults. And that is what we are here to do. We are here for you. We are here for your students. And I want to thank you for giving us the honor of working with you and working with your students. Thank you very much. I'm going to turn it back to, I believe, Dr. Phelan, our Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm so thankful that each one of you are here today. We're grateful that you're here. We're excited that your students are going to join us here in just a few days. I'm putting some information into the chat about the areas that I oversee. Let's see if this is going to, there it goes. I oversee 5 areas related to enrollment management. So I oversee the admissions office, which I'm sure you guys have interacted with. Hopefully you've had wonderful experiences with our incredible staff there. I also oversee the scholarships office, the financial aid office, the registrar's office, and you're experiencing the other office today, the new student orientation office. And all of these offices are here to support your students in their journey through college. Again, there were some concerns about some financial concerns for our students. Our financial aid office is here to assist. If students are having questions, or if you have questions about the FAFSA, how to fill it out, how to access work study or other scholarship funds, please call on us, reach out to our website, their email addresses as well, that we'd be happy to get in there and answer questions for you. There are some FERPA limitations about what we can and cannot discuss with you. Some things we need to have your student discuss with us unless they sign a release. So please be aware of that. But we are absolutely here to ensure that your students are able to be successful and that they have a wonderful college experience. And there will be an opportunity for you to ask any specific questions at the end of our time today. But that's my brief overview. And I would like to now hand it off to my friend and colleague, Dr. Kelly Moore.
Thank you, Stacy. So my job today is to tell you about the Bengal Family Network. So we know that when your student was in high school, you were probably inundated with information about their education and their experience. And then they transition to college and that kind of disappears. So your students' independence is important and their privacy is protected by federal law. But getting a college degree is not easy and they need you. You are their cheering squad. You are their advocates. And so here at ISU, we have been working on ways to just keep you in the loop and keep you informed. And that's where the Bengal Family Network can make the difference. So rather than forcing you to scrounge all over websites looking for resources, we're giving you this site. There's the slide there. And just in case, let me submit the link to the website directly into the chat field. So on our Bengal Family Network page, look at the top and you'll see a link for joining the network, opting in. So some benefits of opting into the network: this will give you a personal contact. So a member of our staff that you can reach out to when you have questions, help you find answers. You'll have resources at your fingertips. Stacy's right. We have just a whole crew of people ready to help your student and to engage. But if you're having any trouble at all finding the resources you need, reach out to us on this network and we'll help you get connected. We'll give you critical updates, deadlines that are important for your students' well-being and success. We'll tell you about happenings here at ISU. We will be posting informational resources and guides. And in 2021, these will include a series of town halls, interactive opportunities to talk with our VP and with our staff about student services. And then finally, connection opportunities. So when we are post-COVID and ready to be all in one place again, about which we're very excited, this includes events like Bengal Family Weekend, where everybody can come and join their students on campus and enjoy our ISU hospitality and just the chance to bond and explore. So we encourage you to opt into that network and discover all of these resources. I want to give you one more resource here in the chat field. This is our Bengal Family Network email. You have any questions at all, you can send those directly to that email. There is one more thing, I guess. We just sent out a Bengal Parent and Family survey. It went out in our newsletter, but if you have not received that newsletter, we'd invite you to go in and take this survey. It is seeking your input on how we can better support you and support your students. And now it is my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Rick Pongratz. He is the Director of our Counseling and Testing Services. Rick?
Hello, thank you, Kelly. I am Rick Pongratz. I'm the Director of Counseling and Testing Services here at ISU. It's a pleasure to talk with you today, and I'm really excited that you and your family are in the Bengal fold and are in our pride. I guess I don't know if that's just lions or if that's lions and tigers and bears, am I? But I direct the Counseling and Testing Center here at ISU. And the reason I'm chatting with you is that we know that students experience a fair amount of distress. We know that this is common. Before COVID, about 1 in 3 college students would say that at some point during their time in college, their level of distress got to such a level that they were impaired or hurt their academics. And so with COVID, that's gotten a lot worse. And so with COVID, we know over 50% of students, just right above 50%, are saying, yeah, COVID is impacting my mental health. And we know that when folks have struggles with their mental health and stress and anxiety and depression, those get in the way of learning. And that's where my office comes in. We provide, we're a comprehensive counseling center. We provide a whole lot of services to be able to support students, and we provide individual counseling as well as group counseling. Group counseling is really important given COVID and the isolation, because the groups that we run offer opportunities for students to connect with one another and get support and feel less alone and less isolated. We also have weekly wellness workshops that students can Zoom in and join and learn all sorts of different things. And those are on our website, which I believe is one of the slides that Brooke can go to now. And so our website here, you can find a lot of those resources, the virtual wellness workshops, things students can be doing at home to take care of their mental health and get support. We are free. We're 100% free and confidential. So students do not have to pay any per session fee to use our services. They're welcome to reach out to us, and we just encourage them to call whichever campus they consider their campus home. And so, and if they're not close to any of these campuses, just call our Pocatello number and we will help get them hooked up with services. One of the questions I get an awful lot is, do you have services for students who are located out of state, particularly right now in the COVID era? And so, yes, we do. And those students are encouraged to call our Pocatello number. And so we're just rolling out a new resource for them, and we can help get them hooked up with services regardless of where they are in the country, and even in some other countries. If they're doing an overseas placement or something like that, we can still help them out. So just have them call our Pocatello number and we can help get those students fixed up. Lastly, the thing I'd like to address is that you can think about our center as a counseling center, but you can also think about us as a persistence center. So we are here to help students with their efforts to succeed and persist in campus. And so students who access our services are more likely to persist and succeed than students who don't. And that's because we help them remove obstacles to their learning, as well as connect them with other important campus resources. Thank you so much. And so with that, I'm going to turn things over to Karina Roras, who will talk with you from Disability Services.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our Bengal family. I'm so super happy to be here and excited that you're here. I'm the Director of Disability Services at Idaho State University. We have a highly talented and compassionate team here who are ready to serve your young adults and our students. And we're responsible for creating equal access through the provision of accommodations. Accommodations could include things such as sign language interpreting, captioning of videos, or live captioning, as you're seeing today, the production of Braille, use of a wide variety of software and technology to create equal access or extra time for testing when they take an exam. So we just have a lot of tools in our toolbox to assist. We provide accommodations at all of our campuses, so Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Meridian, Twin Falls. We even have students that attend a pharmacy program on our Anchorage, Alaska campus. We also provide services via distance as well. We have a lot of students that are definitely taking distance courses, and we are capable of reaching out to our students and helping even via distance. So, and on behalf of the Disability Services team, we look forward to continuing to help our students and go Bengals. And it is a great honor to turn time over now to Dr. Lance Erickson, who is the director of our Career Center. And thank you.
Thank you, Karina, and good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to talk to you today about a few resources and services that the Career Center can provide for your students that can really help them. One of the things we know about students is that they are focused on moving toward a career path as they move through their college experience. In fact, I think Lacey was the one that talked about excited about graduating and moving forward on a career path. So we're excited for that. But many students are unsure or maybe undecided, and that can be very distressing to some of them. And this is where the Career Center can come in and provide some help and resources. We provide a lot of great resources, and we know that a lot of students end up changing majors at one point or another, or you think about changing because they learn new things and they decide that they like perhaps different things as they go through some of their coursework. But as I mentioned, the Career Center has many tools that can help students figure out a great career path, but also an academic major and program. One of the great resources we provide is individual career counseling, and this can be very valuable for students who are unsure or struggling in making a decision about a career. We have programs such as Focus 2, ONET, MyPlan. These are online career guidance programs that can be highly beneficial to help narrow down options for students as they're figuring out which direction to go. We also have some career assessments that can be very helpful for students to take, such as a personality assessment, interests, values, and skills. These can be great resources to help them figure out more about themselves and what would be a suitable and good career path for them. I mentioned Focus 2 a moment ago. This is a wonderful program that is tied into ISU's majors. So in other words, students can take these assessments, they're very short, and then the results come out with different occupations that can be a great fit based on the way they answered the questions. But they're also tied to ISU's majors. In other words, it will say which ISU major can help get them to that career path. So we really encourage students to utilize our Focus 2 online career guidance program. And as you can see from the picture here, it can be used with a phone, a laptop, computer, all types of different technology. We also offer a career and life planning class. This is a great class for students who really would like to get more information and more help on careers and majors and things like that. This is only 1 credit. And it's really focused on helping with decision making and helping students gain more confidence in themselves as they move forward in their academic journey. We also offer a career path internship program, or CPI for short. This is a program with about $2.3 million. And last year we had about 900 students complete a career path internship, which is an internship either on or off campus that ISU will pay for to help students get more experience and build their resumes as they move forward in their academic journey. This is one of the only programs like this in the nation, and we have it here at ISU, which is such a great benefit for our students. We also are starting a new program called the Bengal STEP program, or Student to Employee program. And this program is for first-year students living on campus, and we help them acquire a part-time job, and they will work minimal hours, about 10 to 15 hours per week. And this is a great way for them to get more acclimated to the university, to earn some money, and to build, again, some skills as they're moving through their process here at ISU. For next fall, applications will be sent out in March and April, and we will get that going again this fall for the new students. Finally, I wanted to mention Handshake. Many students want a part-time job while they're on campus going to school. Many of them would like an internship, information about career fairs or employer information sessions, or even to just make their career counseling appointment on their own. And they can do all of this through Handshake. Handshake is our Career Center portal where they can create their own account. It's free. And then they can look up jobs, internships, career-related information of all types. And I believe that's all I have for you today. I would like to then turn it over to our final speaker, Supi Lyon from our University Health Center.
Thank you, Lance. That was great information that you provided. And hello to all of the students out there and parents and family. I am Supi Line. I'm a physician assistant, and I work at the Idaho State University Health Center, where our mission is to keep you guys safe, healthy, happy, and educated so that you can succeed not just in life, but in your academic pursuits. Our office is just a really warm and welcoming place for all different kinds of students. And so everybody should feel comfortable to come here. Our office visits are free for you guys, as long as you're enrolled in classes, because you've already paid for them with your student fees. And because you are flying the coop and transitioning from children to adults, you can consider all of your encounters here confidential. Your parents don't have access to what you seek care here for unless you give them permission. It's part of the growing up process. We're located right in the heart of campus on 8th Street, and appointments can be made either online or by calling the front desk. So we're basically a general medicine clinic, and we offer a really wide array of services, not just Band-Aids and aspirins. We're staffed with a bright and caring team of doctors, physician assistants, nurses, medical assistants. We have a nutrition counselor, we have an x-ray tech, and we have both lab and x-ray services. So it's pretty comprehensive. In regards to COVID-19, which is what our staff has dedicated a huge chunk of their time to the last couple of semesters, our staff is available to answer students' questions about COVID symptoms and exposures and other concerns. So if you guys have questions or you've been exposed or you're sick, you can absolutely talk to a human being right when you call us. We offer rapid tests in our clinic, and we refer to an outside lab called Express Labs if you need a PCR test. And we're following all of the local public health as well as CDC guidelines. And we're seeing students here in our clinic with concerning symptoms upstairs in a separate clinic to keep the sick people away from the not sick people. And so we're happy to evaluate you. If you think you need to be evaluated, you have concerning symptoms, we can figure out what the next step is. So I want you to know we're a resource for you if you're feeling sick with COVID. And again, we're keeping that separate. We have made telehealth also a part of our daily schedules so that we can offer safe ways for you guys to receive care. And also, of course, we're still seeing patients in the clinic if you'd rather come in and be seen, as long as you're not sick with COVID. Of course, routine health issues continue to happen even in the face of COVID-19, and we're here for you guys to address all of those needs and your wellness concerns too. So we take care of acute needs like asthma and chest pain, digestive issues, contraception, sexual health, skin issues, injuries, other types of infections. We take care of mental health concerns here. We have a fair bit of experience dealing with depression and anxiety and bipolar disorder. We also insomnia and just basic stress that isn't, just a box diagnosis. We take care of diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid disorders, so just a lot of different things. We can also do minor procedures like wound repair. So if you cut yourself, you can come in here and we can take a look. We can drain abscesses and remove toenails and treat warts. So we just do a bunch of different things. If you need blood work, we can get that done for you here. If you need a vaccination, we don't have the coronavirus vaccine yet, but we have all other vaccines, and we can administer IV fluids and IV treatments and take x-rays. So one of the things I want you and your parents to know is that we're really mindful of financial constraints that students have. And so we try really hard to keep medical care affordable here. And like I said, the office visit is free. But if you need something more, we'll work really hard to make that affordable for you. We work closely with our community and campus resources to help you get the access to all different kinds of cares and needs that you have. And so I hope that you guys will feel comfortable coming to our clinic and meeting our amazing staff, and we're here for you for your academic experience to keep you healthy through the whole process. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Supi, and thank you to all of our panelists for the information that you provided today. So we're going to start the question and answer part of our session this morning. We have about 15 minutes for questions. I did receive some over the chat, so we'll go ahead and get started with those, but feel free to put questions in the chat window if you want to ask them anonymously. Again, in the to field, you can just put my name, Craig Chatrand, and then I will ask the question to one of our panelists. So Stacy, I'm going to ask you to start with the first question. Actually, I'm going through my list and I'm going to ask Rick to start with the first question. Should my student continue seeing the counselor they have now, or should they get a counselor at ISU?
It's a great question. So I'm a big believer in if something's not broke, we shouldn't try to fix it. So I guess it depends on how your student is working with that counselor. If that's a good relationship and they're getting help and they found something that's working, I wouldn't mess with it. As I have a child who sought counseling as well, and so when it's working, you stay with that. But if they're at all unhappy or they would like to try something new, please do have them reach out to us. We're free, we're confidential, we can help them out. We have highly trained licensed providers as well as folks who do internships with us who have specific training in different areas. So we have a lot of resources to offer. And so I guess I'd make that decision on a case-by-case basis. But if you're really happy with the services you have now, I would stick with those as a parent, I guess.
Thank you so much, Rick. The next question I'm going to ask Karina to answer. Will my student receive the same accommodations they had in high school?
Okay, so this is another really, really good question. So the K through 12 laws and the higher ed laws do differ a little bit. The higher ed law focuses on equal access. So the answer would be that there are going to be some that may not transfer over. But the majority of them tend to, it's been my experience, the majority of them tend to fit. So, and we would take a look at those on a case-by-case basis. So for an example, in the high school setting, sometimes adaptations are applied. And what I mean by that, one example would be a student may have a particular class where, let's say they have their exams are multiple choice and they have 50 questions, and the adaptation may be that that particular student only has to answer maybe 20 of those. In the higher ed setting, that type of adaptation wouldn't apply. All students with or without disabilities are required to meet the same standards and to do the same work. However, we do have a lot of other support services to assist students to get through. Here at Disability Services, we do have a peer mentored and tutoring program. The university has a tutoring program as well. And we also here at Disability Services have an occupational therapy academic coaching program where some of our students meet with an intern from the occupational therapy department under supervision of their faculty on a weekly basis and work with them on any soft skills, such as maybe if they need assistance with communication skills, how to navigate certain systems on campus, like the student learning management system, time management, things like that we can assist with. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you so much, Karina. Stacy, we've gotten a couple different questions about scholarships. So would you talk just kind of generally about scholarships and other things you might think are important for payment plans and things like that?
Absolutely. Our scholarship grid was recently adjusted due to some actions by our state board that no longer required that we take SAT or ACT scores as part of the admissions process. And so we were able to adjust our grid in such a way that we're able to get money to more students. We're excited about that. We also highly encourage our students to check our online Bengal online scholarship system. We call it BOSS. There's a link to that I'll put in the chat in just a moment. Your students will be able to access the BOSS system with their Bengal ID and login information. Right now, between January and April, we are loading scholarships very frequently. Our system is set up in such a way that if the scholarships are related to the student's major, the students will receive an automated email to their ISU email address. So we encourage your students to check their ISU email address very regularly, as well as to make a habit of checking the Bengal online scholarship system at least once a month to see if there's anything else that has popped up that they might be eligible for. The other thing I'd like to mention is today, January 8th, is the last day for students to sign up for a payment plan if they need that option without incurring a late fee. They certainly have more time to make payment arrangements. Today is just the last day before a late fee would apply. If your students have unusual situations, if your economic situation has changed since you completed the FAFSA, I would encourage you to contact our office. We can re-review your case if you have changed financial circumstances since you filed your FAFSA. So I'll post a couple of links in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer any other questions related to financial aid or scholarships that you might have.
Thanks, Stacy. And I also want to draw attention to what Brooke put in our chat window, that students will have a live online demonstration of BOSS at 12 p.m. today. And they're also going to get some demonstrations of Moodle and financial aid and some of our other systems. So that's something that your students will be going through during the orientation process. So that's all the questions that came in. So it looks like we might end a few minutes early today. But I guess I would like to wrap up by saying, if you have any questions, if there's a way that we can support you or your student, please don't hesitate to contact anybody that is on our session today. I'm the Dean of Students here at Idaho State University. Feel free to call my office. What we like to tell students, if you have a question and you don't know where to bring it, come to the Dean of Students office and we can get you connected to the right place on campus. So thank you so much, panelists, parents, guests, and family members. Thank you so much for your time today, and have a good Friday.